here. Please wait for the mic. Questions will start right up front here.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Congrats on the win. Asked Alyssa about what you told her whenever she came off the field, and she mentioned how you're talking about her and her sister and just being able to play down the left side. Can you talk about what you two talked about and then just their performance tonight?
No, I'm not going to tell you what I said because it's between me and her, and because there's stuff that I think is between them as siblings. But all I will say is that I'm very proud of them both. You know, Giselle's been playing as a right. We know she's played as a left back before, and I knew coming into the game I was very excited about that potential because I used to play football with my sister, and there's nothing better than feeling like your sister's in front of you or behind you, and you're going to work twice as hard to ensure that you're successful. So that was so much fun watching them, and the amount of times I'd watch Alyssa pick up the ball and then Giselle would be bombing on. Like, what another string to our bow to see that. So I'm just really proud of them as siblings. And look, being the youngest always comes with different challenges. I'm not the youngest in my family, but I've learned over years like how much harder it can be as the younger sibling. So they were so much fun.
They also have a younger sister.
I know that's unbelievable. When's she coming?
Coach Rose Lavelle makes her return to Ohio tonight. In a recent interview, she said that she is absorbing the veteran leadership role and trying to help the younger talent on this team. How have you seen her kind of embrace that over these past couple weeks and months?
Yeah, I mean, Rose, it's a lot of quiet leadership. I mean, she is our cookie crumble queen. She certainly gets she certainly makes the noise in our dining room space. She's our social butterfly, but she is someone everybody respects Rose for so many reasons, and I love that she's leaning into being this too because the team needs it. And if you think about, you know, the players from Ali Sentner to Giselle to even Alyssa, Claire Hutton, really, you know, they're really progressing, their maturity is developing because of players like Rose, ensuring that they feel the high challenge of the environment, but most importantly, the high support of the veteran leadership. Like, these players value so much the legacy of those that came before them, and so leaving the shirt in a better place or making sure they're passing on that sort of institutional knowledge. Rose does it tremendously well, and they love being those role models for the players. Okay.
Go ahead.
I try to avoid superlatives because they can be kind of boring. So I won't ask if you thought that this was the best performance of the U.S. Women's National Team, unless you want to answer that in a while. But I'm thinking about the Nashville game and how you sort of compared the team's ability to overcome the emotional demands of that game to the, I believe, first Portugal game.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, from a performance perspective, is there another game that this performance reminds you of?
Well, you know what? It's a great question. It is a really good question, that, because, as I said the other day, there's so many different ways to win a football match. I love winning football matches like this, where still on a knife edge at 1-0. Large part of the team is still in pre-season. So the final part of the pitch, I think, in terms of like misconnections or the wrong decision, I think shows it's pre-season. But it is important that I think for a team that is so accustomed to, like, I want the next goal, next action, that sometimes it doesn't come. But what you mustn't do is seek that so much that you give up something else. And I thought our control the last 10 minutes of the game, that for me is indicative of maturity in the performance. Until Naomi banana balled the ball out of touch, which made me giggle. So it was one of my favourite performances because they're growing up. And that includes Ali Sentner. I mean, she was menacing all evening, pressing, really she made it really difficult for them to settle on the ball. And I could tell she was disappointed by the opportunity she missed. but she's so resilient, and she's got that type A perfectionist, but steel about her. Definitely a UNC kid. To get her take her chance, and so watching Ali Sentner's development, I just said it to him there. I said, "You remember Japan last year? That learning, and you're going into these games with that body of work underneath you, and they are in a better place for it. And just bear in mind, there's a lot of experience to be that you need a lot of experience to play the Niners, the US Women's National Team, and I thought she did a bloody good job of doing that. So, yeah, I enjoyed it, even though." I mean, I always want more goals, but sometimes not. Sometimes I'm like, I think it's a good place to be in where you're like, we're winning 1-0. You know, how do you manage this part of the game when maybe the second goal don't come, but you can cough up a corner and all of a sudden it's a 1-1 game, it's going to penalties. So it was on enough of a knife edge for it, with the right tension, but we didn't have to get into the emotional side of the game because we controlled it so well.
Anything else in the room? We'll go there and then back there. Yep.
Hi, Emma. Congrats on the win. I was wondering if you could talk about your game changers tonight, because it felt like every change that was made, the momentum just kept building and the energy was still really good, no matter who came on the field.
I said to them in the huddle afterwards, one of the hardest games to come into is this game. When it's 1-0, there's no real reason to change it. Sometimes you can disrupt that flow by making changes unnecessarily when the team's got a good rhythm, it's in control. Okay, maybe fresh legs will help, but I've learned over the course of my career this can be the tricky sub pattern, this one. So what you want from, we call them finishers, coming into the game is that they maintain that consistency by not doing extraordinary things, continue to do the basic things really, really well, and have the discipline. Don't start going, we need more goals, we want... No, of course, our aspiration is to score more goals, but we do it through discipline. And I think whether it's Lindsay coming in, her experience and leadership, Emma Sears gave us, a fresh pair of legs on the right-hand side. Lily Johannes, same, fresh, because she played 60 the other night. And then obviously the last couple of minutes, because Jaden Shaw can go in as a 9, Ali Sentner's played as a wide player for us before, they know so many more roles. It's so much more easy. It's easier for me to make those decisions. So I enjoyed that part too.
Coach, I mean, you just mentioned how easy it is to make the decisions tactically. I would have to guess it's also probably easy to form an attack when you have such athleticism on display in this team. I'm curious what your thoughts are, just seeing, Alyssa and Giselle with the speed, Emma Sears with the strength and everything. What is your takeaway in terms of how athletic this team is?
Well, it's part of the DNA of this program, so I'm leaning into that, and you need it. There's nothing worse, is there, than really pacey wide players. And I think in Emma Sears, in Alyssa Thompson, they've been developing. I think Trinity, I'm so happy for Trin to get 60. Trin hasn't played football in a while, and I think it will take time to build, but for her to come through with that, especially after what happened the other day, I think it's a good start for her too. Really happy with the team. They're growing up. The team's growing up.
We only have time for like 2 more, so we'll go online. And sorry, Jonathan, Seth, we're going to go to the women. Sandra, go ahead.
Sorry, fellas. Thanks for the shout. And Emma, Sandra, CBS Sports. I'm just wondering if maybe it's too soon for this. But I'm just wondering, in your perspective, do you already have any of those in terms of the evolutions of this team, just going up against Canada specifically in July, now to today? So many of your young players, whether it's Ali Sentner or even Claire Hudden, have talked a lot about how you've sort of tasked them with those kind of scenarios, that you want to see those responses. And I'm just wondering if you sort of picked up on any of those evolutions for your players.
Yeah, I think first of all, Canada are a different team, and it showed. And I knew that going into it. I knew they were at a better place. And I said that to Casey at the end of the game. I think our team have made so much progress. So for me, this was a much tougher test than July. I thought July was just comfortable everywhere, surprisingly so. And I think for Casey, that she knew that there was work to be done with that team. And look, Canada's a history of producing fantastic teams, so we have to expect that they're going to provide a stiff test for us, which they did. So the tactical maturity in terms of having the ability to break down, I don't want to get too tactical because I'll be here all night, but the ability to break that down with the variety in our play, when you, I don't know what to compare it to, but I can only talk as a coach. When you're teaching so much variation in play and you see it played out against a higher level opponent every time, it's one thing to do it, you know, against Argentina. It's another to do it at Canada. And of course, I'm going to want the challenge to do it against Colombia. And of course, I want it against Japan. The part I love about my job is that. And I could see that they're really starting to understand both sides of the ball, their roles and responsibilities. And more importantly, they're getting better at recognising. It's not coach-led. It's like if they're seeing something, they're saying something, they're adapting to it. Like, this is, for me, the best.
Last one goes to Sylvia. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Sorry, I'm on my phone, so I'm going a little wonky today. Hi, Emma. Congratulations on the win. I'm going to circle back one more time. You've obviously talked a lot this week in this camp about the growth of both Ali Settner and the Spears, and obviously we've made some allusions earlier to Giselle Thompson, but can you just talk specifically about her growth, and particularly the fact that she's played 2 90-minute matches this camp?
Like I said, when you're the baby sibling, and yes, I know there's another one, and you've got Alyssa Thompson as your sister, you know, starring for the US Women's National Team and getting, you know, whatever much the move was to Chelsea. And that's tough. Like, you know, that's she's having to live a little bit in the shadow of her sister, but her time will come, and I think her time is coming. And so I'm happy for them because they work so hard at their game. This is the things. This is what people don't really see. You just see blazing speed. I see 2 top professionals who invest so much time in the other 22 hours of their game, whether that's their recovery, whether it's their analysis, whether it's their sleep, whether it's their nutrition. They are studying. They put themselves in prime positions every time. They are fabulous trainers. And Giselle knows that my goal with her is that I need her to be more durable. So I told her, you're playing 90 minutes. Don't look at me. You're not coming off. You're going to play 90 minutes because I think that what a great situation for her that she can say, I've come through 2 games in a really, really good place. And that is what she is going to need to compete for this team on a regular basis. And she did a fab job.
Thank you, Emma. We are off to Jersey.